Work. It's what you do for more than a third of your life. It defines who you are, what you dream, and what you become. But let's face it, work could be better, right? At ServiceNow, we believe in making work better for people. So we built the Now Platform, the cloud platform that transforms how work gets done across your entire organization. With ServiceNow, IT can align to business priorities with a project command center, streamline service management with self-service portals and automated routing, and eliminate outages by pinpointing disruptions and addressing issues proactively. Security operations can respond to incidents and vulnerabilities fast, prioritizing and resolving threats based on service impact. Customer service can increase satisfaction by solving issues across departments proactively, using real-time data to assess product service health. HR can make it easier for employees to get what they need, leveraging a self-service portal and automated case management. And any department can quickly build intelligent business apps to automate processes, all on a single powerful platform. Now, your employees and customers can enjoy the experiences they deserve. ServiceNow works for you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Senior Vice President DevOps of ServiceNow, Pat Casey.
All right. Thank you, everyone. And welcome to the Hangover keynote. Traditionally, we had the big party after day 2, so day 3 could be a little challenging. This year, the party's tonight, so we still have that to look forward to. But all the same, I did want to thank everyone for being here this morning, giving us your time and attention. If you've been going to the rest of our keynotes, you probably saw that we've got a bit of a narrative going on here. On day 1, John and his team came in, and they talked about the purpose of the company, about our desire to make the world of work better for people. It's pretty straightforward. If you're an engineer like me, you might think about that and say, that's awesome, but how do you apply that in practice? So yesterday, CJ and his team came in, and they talked about how we're trying to apply those principles to our applications, the ones that we write that you use. And it was great. I think you maybe even seen me on stage for a little part of that, something about DevOps. Today is really the third part, the third leg of that stool. Today we're going to be talking about how this technology and this platform can make the world of work better for your applications, for the applications that you build on top of this platform, on top of this technology. To really drill into that, though, I thought I should make explicit something which has been sort of implied throughout all of that, and that is that we do, in fact, have a perspective on what the future of work will be, or at the very least should be. And the short version is that we at ServiceNow feel like the future of work is going to be very human-centric. And that's just a fancy way of saying it's going to be about people. It's going to be about you, it's going to be about me, our coworkers, our peers, whatever the case may be. The future workplace is really going to be designed around and optimized for bringing out the specific creative things that only you can do. And they're probably the things that brought you into the profession in the first place. So if you're a doctor, it probably means more time seeing patients and less time doing chart review. If you're a manager, it probably means more time with your team and less time doing compliance audits, my favorite part of the world. If you're a developer, it probably means more time developing and less time doing, storyboarding, sprint planning. Choose your piece of technology that you don't like as much. And if you look at that, that's an interesting kind of aspirational world. But again, I like to break things down. So we'll talk about 3 specific things that you really need to do to achieve this future workplace. And the first is really pretty straightforward. You really do need great experiences with the tools and the technology that you use inside your workplace. So when you sit down at a tool, it should be obvious, it should be fun to use. It should be easy. Ideally, you shouldn't need to be trained on it. It should just work. When you think about it, though, those are they're the table stakes of what a good experience is about. If you cast your eyes a little further into the future, we really do feel like the future has less of the dedicated tool for purpose model. Right now, the idea is generally that if you want to accomplish a specific task, approve a purchase order, you log into the purchasing system to do it. There's a tool for that task. So you are adapting yourself to the technology and the tool chain. If you cast your eyes far enough into the future, a great experience for us is one where whatever is appropriate for you at that moment in time is the right way to interact with technology. If right now I want to approve my purchase order by voice, that's the right interface for me. If I want to do it on my phone, it's the right interface for me. It's a lot less about me having to find the right tool and a lot more about the right tool finding me or finding you or your customers. That's what we mean when we talk about a great experience. There's a second piece to it as well, and that is, as a company, we really do have a strong belief that automation and service intelligence do have a place in the workplace of the future. And we also have a bit of a different perspective than some others in the industry. John alluded to this, and we'll talk about it a little more, but fundamentally, we believe automation is going to strip away what I classify as the overhead of your workplace. So if you talk about our doctor we started with, she wants to see patients, but she's doing chart review. She's not doing chart review because she likes doing chart review. Nobody likes doing chart review. She's doing it because it has to be done. And what automation can do is it can take on those tasks, which are necessary, but they're not creative, they're not interesting, they're not why you entered this profession, and do them for you, which frees up your time to focus on the more interesting human elements of your job. That's fundamentally where we see things going. And fundamentally, it's also not something that just happens. That's where we're driving the technology. That's where we're investing into solutions like that. Now, the third piece is a little simpler. Remember how I talked about the desire to have applications be pretty seamless to you? Well, in some models of the future, you sort of have what I call like the one ring version of technology, that one particular piece of software forged in a volcano under Dol Guldur is going to dominate the future environment. We don't really believe that. In ServiceNow's model of the future, there will be multiple pieces of technology running in your enterprise. We'll be one of them. We think that you'll run your workflow on ServiceNow, but you might get finance tools from Oracle, SAP, might get productivity tools from Microsoft, maybe some creative tools from Adobe. It doesn't really matter. The point is you'll have multiple applications running inside your environment. And to give that great experience, those applications need to be integrated together seamlessly so that you as a user, you as an employee, don't have to worry about which one you want to log into and this one for task A and this one for task B. It's about making your life simpler by doing more work on the back end. So if I paint that picture of the future, it's a future I want to live in. I'm excited about it. It's like, yeah, if I do that, I'm going to be pretty darn happy with myself. I think we all would as well. If I'm being honest, though, I have much more base emotion as well. I'm scared. I'm scared because we're the people who have to build this. And this stuff is not easy. And I'll start by saying, experiences we talked about, you saw Greg talk about it a little yesterday. You don't just get a couple of guys and spend a half hour in the back office and build a great experience. It takes teams of professionals years to design something like a phone interface. And these are not just smart people. They're really smart people who've been focusing on this for their career. Read an article somewhere that said 70% of AI projects are over budget or over time. We're taking too long. Let's see if some heads nodding out there. The current state of the art of AI right now is you've got AI systems and systems where you want to apply AI, and they're different. So whenever you want to do a project, it turns into a massive integration project. It's hard. It burns time. It burns energy. So that promise is really hard to deliver. And the third piece, integrations. We were kind of struggling for a good illustration there. So eventually we decided we would pick on me, because it's my show. We get to pick on me. Something I have to do, because something a lot of you probably have to do as well, I have to approve things. A lot of you probably approve stuff too. We're going to count the number of systems that I have to log into to approve things. It's going to be sort of depressing or fun, depending on your perspective. Start by saying, I approve purchase orders inside of ServiceNow. Our internal apps team wrote this great purchase order portal. I do it all inside of there. It's really cool. I can do it on my phone, do it on email, do it browser. It's great. Unless they're telco purchase orders. I'm not sure why, but telco approved through Tango. Okay. Travel expenses, Concur. Pretty good. Works. Job offers, we're up to 4. Job offers, JobVite. Except contractors. Contractors are WAND, up to 5. I'm running out of fingers here. 6, I guess would be the pinky. Workday, bonuses. And I'm going to drop the pick. You know this is called a pickle? I just found that out. I always called it a clicker, but the stage people say it's a pickle. 7, though, comp changes. We have our own. It's a really cool app. It's downstairs. You can see it. It's a comp change app that our internal systems guys wrote. I'm up to 7 systems. I'm not using 7 systems because my internal apps teams don't like me. Or because they're bad. They're actually really good. I'm using 7 systems because this is a hard problem. It's a lot like painting the Golden Gate Bridge. If you don't know how they do that, they get a bunch of people and they start on one side and they paint till they get to the other end, and by then where they started is rusted again. And they start over. They're constantly painting. Integrations tend to be the same problem space because you have to get professional programmers to do it. By the time you get 3 or 4 things integrated, one of those 4 breaks, and you got to go back and redo it. So you never get everything integrated that you fundamentally want to. So if you look at all this, it's sort of a nasty problem. And that's why there are platforms out there like ServiceNow that offload a lot of the work for you. They make it easier for you to build these kinds of applications by providing technology that does things for you. So you can get the user experience, you can get the service intelligence, you can get all of that stuff built into the technology so you don't have to write it all from ground zero. And fundamentally, we're here at a ServiceNow user conference, you're ServiceNow users, so we can probably assume that you're pretty familiar with the Now platform. It is always nice, though, when you get validation from outside. So I'm sort of proud to announce we actually made it into the Leaders Quadrant on the Gartner Magic Quadrant recently. Thank you. Key thing to realize about this, the way the Gartner process works, this is pretty much a description of where our technology was about 6 months ago. Because they look at it, and then they do a big analysis, and then they announce the Magic Quadrants. So we haven't been standing still since then. We've been making big investments really to try to make those 3 things that I said were hard easier for you. Great experiences. We have a big investment in building tools and technologies and design systems so that when you build an application on this system, the experience is great for your customers, whether they be end users, whether they be fulfillers, whether they be consumers, across the stack. Same thing for service intelligence. Last year we talked about something called supervised machine learning. It categorizes, it routes work for you. This year we've done a lot more in that space. You'll see that in just a few minutes, but we're continuing to invest here in ways to empower people to do their jobs more easily and better. And finally, we made a big investment in workflow and integration. Historically, this has been a problem for professional programmers. The state of the art since I've been in this industry is to integrate 2 systems, you write code. And maybe it was SOAP, maybe it was REST, maybe it was EDI, maybe it was a custom API point, but somebody wrote code. Well, there's a new paradigm coming through the industry, and there are ways to do this without writing code.